Good morning, welcome to Planet Mojo. Today I'm going to take you along while I spray some 2,4-D down here in the back prairie and give you kind of a little update on how this area is looking now. What I need to do, I got some smartweed, purslane, pigweed, and other stuff just in this little area right here. I think the mulch bags were sitting here. That's where we saw that milk snake. I need to get that knocked down. Oh, that's, nope, I thought it was giant ragweed. That and a few of the broadleaf weeds that are up at the top of the hill, because when they go to seed, they always have a million seeds, and that'll wash down into the Oak Savanna project down there, and then I got to deal with it there, and I don't want to do that. So I got, the same stuff right through here. Got to knock that back. Most of the work is down in the project itself. I already sprayed one tank on the far side, and because it was sprayed 2.5 weeks ago, you can see that a lot of the stuff is already knocked back, but you can also see that a lot of new stuff is rearing its ugly head. This area by Bigfoot is much further along. There's not much stuff making a comeback, one right there, but other than that, this is getting to the point where it's mostly the grass I want here, which is, this is almost all perennial rye, I believe. And I planted some Virginia wild rye in here as well, which is a native grass. The perennial rye is a nurse grass that will be used to help support and shade and all that for the final grasses that are going in here, which will be big blue stem, little blue stem, Indian grass, prairie drop seed, side oats, grama, and a few others. There is some of that planted in here already, or actually a fair amount of it. So we'll see how this looks towards the end of the year. Can't really tell what's what until things start to go to seed. Like a lot of this stuff with the really fluffy tops like that, that is most likely bluegrass. Not 100% sure, but that is what bluegrass looks like. Yeah. And for the most part, I have to look it up in my field guide. Until I'm a little bit better at it, I'll have to look it up every time. But I will be doing that towards the end of the year when this stuff all goes to seed. Then I can look it up, yank a blade of it, or yank a full stem of it, and look it up in my Grasses of Wisconsin book. Okay, I'm going to grab my tank, which is right there, mount the camera, and we'll get this second half sprayed. And I believe it's probably going to be the last spray of the summer. I'll likely have to go in one more time in like mid-fall, and that should be it. Then I'll be seeding again. I'll be doing the fall seeding, and I will be doing some weed and seed, which I need to show you. I don't know if I've ever shown that. I yank out these grasses, these big, like yellow foxtail. Yank it out, and then I just have seed with me of a prairie grass. Drop that seed into the hole and step on it and move on. That way, not only will the foxtail not go to seed and drop its nasty seed all over the place, but the place that it stood will have some nice prairie grass that is actually in the soil and not just tossed. So let me grab the tank and let's get down there. Alright, I already got this stuff sprayed. Now I'm going to head into this mess. I think I left off right by, there's a rotten tree right there. I'm going to head towards that. I think I'll get this stuff. Well, there's nothing much right here. But you can see, like this bramble right here, it's just wilted a little bit. And it will make a comeback if it's not sprayed again. You could see all these empty spots. I've gone through here and yanked out the yellow foxtail, like the real tall stuff over there. Yanked it out and did my weed and seed. So hopefully I'll get some decent grasses there. You can see, like down here, that's what I'm looking for. And it's all through here. It's much thinner up here than it is down there. This is yellow foxtail. Some of these I have no idea what they are. They're just grasses that decided to live here. And I noticed we have a ton of common mullein growing in here, which I don't believe they consider it invasive, but it's definitely invasive here. I mean, there was so much of it over there that it formed like a blanket, and nothing could. There's some right there. It's got the big fat fuzzy leaves. Call it lamb's quarter. That is not a native plant. At least in Wisconsin it's not. And like all plants that aren't native, it seems to put out way more seed than the native ones do. I'll have to look it up and see if it's perennial or not. Most of the weedy stuff are annuals, which is good, because once your perennial grasses like these, the prairie stuff that's getting planted here, or is planted here, once that gets developed after a year or two, this weedy stuff has no chance of competing with it. Very early in the year, the native stuff already has a massive root system, so it kind of hogs up all the resources right away. I do need to get more cool season grasses in here, like the rise and what is that? Can't think of the name right now, but a few of the cool season grasses, June grass, and there's a few other ones that bottle brush grass, and this, that, and the other thing. Got to get more of those in here as well, so that the grasses are dense all summer long, or spring, summer, and fall, instead of just in the summer, which is what the warm season grasses will do. So a lot of this stuff right here is trees, either trying to resprout or new trees, and you have to hit them every time you go in until they stop trying to resprout. That was a tree as well. It's fairly clear in here. I sprayed this area right here not that long ago, but I got to get down through here. Just a total mess in here. In the fall, I don't want to do much cutting in here this time of year. I want to let the grasses keep growing, and I don't want to step on them any more than I have to. So in the fall, once they start going dormant, I want to get in here and dice this stuff up as much as I can and kind of stack it in one area. Like this is fine. I'll just leave that. Grasses will grow right around it, and all will be well. Got an old piece of plywood here. I'm sure it's got some snakes and stuff living underneath it, so that's fine as well. This mound right here is a root ball. This tree fell, I remember when we had a wind come through here. What the hell do they call that? Straight line wind. And I don't know, they're like 80, 90 miles an hour wind. And it took down dozens and dozens of trees, all right down the Billy Road here. You can see a lot of the stuff laying here like that right there, where the root balls are tipped up. That one, that one, that one back there, this one. And that's just right here. It goes all the way down, just cleared a line right down through here. And it took off a giant limb off this big tree. So it's pretty devastating. So they were all like dominoes. I had to come down here and cut them because they were all like hooked together up in the sky. And it was pretty damn dangerous. It's pretty dangerous cutting them too. So I got to get through this. This is a little apple tree right here, I believe. I see an apple on the ground right there. There's apples all over the place growing in the woods. You see these little apple trees like right near the big Oak Savanna trees a lot. So they probably gave them some shelter. Yeah, at some point soon, this will be a mixture of grasses. Right in this area, this is under the big tree. Well, not super under it, but still pretty shaded by it. In this area, there'll be a lot of ferns, sedges. You can see sedges down. Sedges already live here all over the place. There's some right there. There's some real fine ones right through there. Those will continue to live here, and more shade-tolerant grasses and other stuff. And then this will be burned every year, or every 2 to 3 years, which is going to be hard. I'll have to figure out a way to do it without blazing the whole woods up. But that's really not going to happen. The time when you burn is pretty it's pretty damp out. You either burn in the spring or in the fall. So the danger times for burning is in the summer when it's all dried out. So I don't know if the videos on the neighbor's land are out yet. They should be by the time this one's out. But I had just talked with the guy that's doing the dozing over there. He's done a lot of work for us as well over the years. We introduced him to them. He is going to be dozing our road, as well as doing that stuff I've been talking about by the vineyard, which is just getting rid of the ditch that I dug by hand a few years back, and smoothing the area out, getting rid of a stump and making it so that the entire area can be cut with the zero turn. Right now I have to do a lot of maintenance on it by hand, and the object is to make everything doable that we can by machine. You know, from the gator, from the mower, whatever, tractor. So I gotta go move a fence after I'm done with this. and it's getting really hot out. I try to get this stuff done early in the morning and then take off during the most blazing part of the day. But I'm not going to be able to do that. At least for the near future. I just have too much stuff to do, so have to take some electrolytes and go at it. Okay, can I show you the tree here? That is a big buttress. I bet that's got a nice burrow in there. So looking at the bark on these trees, this one looks way different than that one. I mean, that's what I normally think of as a white oak. And this looks similar to a bur oak. I wonder. It actually kind of looks like it. I wonder if this is a bur oak. I don't want to do that right now. Yeah, see, the other side is more smooth, so maybe it is just a standard old white oak. It doesn't have leaves like a bur oak, so I'm going to guess no. Okay, I got to spray all this brush here. I already got down in here, but then I got to get right up into here, and that will do it. I think I'll get back to you when I'm up where I left off before. So you can see what a gigantic tangle of trees this is. This is all stuff I cut down last year, and I believe I did some the year before, mostly last year. In my earliest videos, I was clearing up there and pulled a tree down with the gator. A lot of videos on it. If you go back and watch a few of them, I went through and cut all this stuff down, and I just left it. I was going to burn it, and I didn't get enough time to do it for some reason, but now it's been drying for a year, and it's it's a fire hazard, but not that much. I really need to get in here in the fall and just dice this stuff up and stack it. That'll provide habitat, and it'll make it so that I can get in here much easier. Right now, this is just, it's a dangerous mess. I mean, this is a fairly steep hill, and as it gets more and more grass is growing here, I can't see what's in my way, so I don't want to trip and go rolling down the hill there. So it needs a good sprucing up in the fall, and it'll look better. And if it doesn't look good, then it's harder to come in and do work on it if it looks like a POS. So having it look nice and keeping it looking nice is kind of important. Yeah, see, this is so thick here because, well, for one thing, we're pretty far down. You can see my construction lack of progress right up there. I wanted to get on that today, but now that we're having that dozer work done, I got to get that fence moved. So I'll make a video on that. It's when the guys got the machinery here, that's the time to get it done, because there's so few people doing that kind of work out here. If you wait, it could be a very long time before you can get the work done. And there's just no way on earth I'm buying a dozer. We don't even have a skid steer, which we really need, or a wood shop, which we really need. So got other priorities. Don't need a whole lot of dozer work, but when you do need it, you need it bad, and it's nice to have it done when you want it done too. Yeah, this garlic mustard is making a comeback since the last spray. There was a ton of it over that way, which is why I started there. But some of these like this right here get some pretty big leaves. This is a resprouting, I believe this is an ash, a white ash, but it has such giant leaves on it like that because it's been sprayed before with 2,4-D, which causes it to have abnormal growth like that, which is eventually what kills it. But if you don't spray it a couple times, it's not going to die. It'll snap out of it and keep growing and grow like crazy. So got to stay on top of this stuff. Yeah, right around here you can see we're right near the edge of the tree, and it's like the grass slowly starts and gets thicker and thicker as it goes up the hill as there's more sunlight. So I really need to get some shade loving stuff down in here. I got a bit thrown, but I need to get some more Virginia wild rye and bottlebrush grass and stuff like that planted down in the shade. The little bit that I have in there so far, hopefully that will go to seed this year in the fall and kind of multiply what's there. Yeah, this is all garlic mustard through here, and it's just crazy trying to get in here. But like I said, can't do anything on it right now. Oh, jeez. I'm okay. Yeah, it'll be really interesting to come back in a couple years and see what this looks like in here. I really hope we don't get oak wilt or some disease like that. These are all white oaks, but I believe that one back there is a red. And the red oak over here, big one, I believe that died from oak wilt. It's been on its way out for a long time, but finally gave up the ghost last year, I think. Okay, so this stuff, when I spray it, this has fertilizer in it as well as weed killer. So as I've mentioned several times before, when I spray this stuff that's in amongst the new grass, it does the whole weed and feed thing. Gives the grass a boost while killing broadleaf stuff. That right there is that giant ragweed? No, it's not. I did spray some up top. I had some of it come up a couple years ago. I had no idea what it was, and I didn't kill it. And then I had ragweed that was over 10 feet tall and zillions of seeds were dumped on the area, and then I've been dealing with it ever since. So if I see giant ragweed, I go out and kill it as soon as possible. I think this is where I left off, right over here. And it looks like I pretty much got everything, but I have to walk my way back up there. I think I just need to spray on my way up, and I'm golden. Yep. So it is getting very hot, so it's going to kind of suck doing that horse stuff. But it's got to be done. This stuff, this Queen Anne's lace, I never knew it, but I found out recently that it's a perennial. So it's really a nasty weed, because it puts off so many seeds, and it doesn't just die because it's crowded out by the grass like most of this stuff does, because they're annuals. So I got to stay on top of that. It's a native plant, I believe, but unless you have a bunch of other stuff growing, it will just completely take over, and I don't need that. Yeah, you can see where this stuff, and I'm not really sure what this is. It has a clover look to it, but yellow flowers. It might be some kind of a mustard. It's incredibly hard to get rid of. You spray it and it just like curls up a little bit, and it doesn't even die. So you got to spray it a couple times to actually get rid of it. Yeah, I'm sure it's a mustard. Yeah, there's one of them root balls from that was aspen. Most of these were aspen. They just a whole line of them tipped over and fell down. And this is the common mullein, lamb's quarters. I don't know if we can see that patch of it or not. It's right over there and just everywhere. So a little bit later this week, I will be coming in here. I believe it'll be Thursday. But I have some seed coming. The neighbors got me a gift certificate for my birthday at, what was that, Prairie Nursery? And I got some more seed. I was out. So now I have some decent seed, like little blue stem, Indian grass, and others. I'm going to weed and seed and get rid of this foxtail, hopefully before it goes to seed. You can see it here, there, and all through there. So I'll yank out a bunch of it. You know, a whole bunch of it will come out together. You can see this is one plant right here. Pull it out, drop some seed in, step on it, and move on. Here's some that's already gone to seed. Smaller version. Let's take that with me and not leave the seeds. So yeah, I would dump seeds right into that hole and then step on it. But because these are going to seed, I'll take them with me and throw them in the fire pit. Don't need any more foxtail in here. Okay, that is about it. I think most of this stuff is already dying back. Spoke too soon, but I'll check out of here anyways. So if you have any questions on this, on the whys and what fors of spraying 2,4-D, or any of this other stuff, how we are restoring this Oak Savanna, make sure you put it in the comments below. And if you want updates, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click on the little update icon. Thanks for watching and have a great day.